What up guys, just another update video on the G, and I just washed it, did the tire shine and everything, and I couldn't help but not make a video because I need you guys to see what this car looks like in the sunlight. Like when the blue hits the sun, or I should say when the sun hits the blue, it pops like crazy. Now this car, you know, I've owned it for a long time now. I've owned it since about 2011. It's now 2020, and you can see, like, obviously the paint, you know, it needs a rework, right? Like this paint is not held up very well. Now I'll let you guys know the car was actually keyed by some asshole in 2013, and we had it redone factory twilight blue BW5 color. So I couldn't let go of the color. It looks absolutely nasty and it's very unique. You know, not a lot of G's have this color, but it just needs a proper cut and polish. You can see the paint is not in great shape, right? But we're taking care of that in a couple of weeks. I have a really awesome detailer coming over and he's going to take care of the car. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, you know, how you think this car will look once it's done. Just recent updates for those of you who haven't been following. So this is a boosted performance single turbo kit with a built motor. So we're still on break-in tune. It's making about a little over 600 wheel right now with 16 pounds of boost. And now that we're almost ready for the power tune, we're going to be pushing a little bit closer to like maybe 20 or more pounds of boost and hopefully hitting well over 700 wheel horsepower. So this, you know, if you guys aren't following, make sure you guys subscribe because this is going to be quite the build setup. Make sure you guys check out my other videos. You know, a lot of stuff going on with this car. So some more information, just, you know, we got the RPF1 wheels, 9.5 in the front and 10.5 at the back, and these are 18s. And tire setup is a 255 40 in the front and a 305 35 in the back. In the trunk we have a full Radium twin pump surge tank setup here with two Walbro 450s in it and the flex fuel sensor ready to go for 85. And then yeah, boosted performance turbo kit, which is a mid-mount kit. So that mid-mount kit's mounted underneath the car. So there's not a whole lot in the engine bay, but we have the APS manifold, and then we have a couple little things like, you know, just the 4-port custom catch can that I built, and full fuel system coming up to the front with the regulators and the rail Cosworth rails inside there. And yeah, so, you know, make sure you guys check out the other videos I have of this car. I got a ton of videos on my channel. Brembo brake kit factory with slotted rotors. But I think I may upgrade those down the road. We'll see how they handle when we up the power. But yeah, it's running on a Haltech piggyback ECU, which has been running fine. But since I need to do flex fuel setup now, I switched over and got a linked ECU. So that's going to be going in very soon. And then we can actually clean up all this wiring mess that we have down over here. That's mostly just my gauges, of course. CD009 transmission in there. The exhaust setup is a custom 4-inch pipe from the bottom, from the end of the turbo, going to about here where it splits off like a Y and attaches into the last two segments of the Motordyne TDX2 exhaust. So that's what we're running for the exhaust setup to get that wicked, you know, sound. And the also to do with the exhaust setup is I'm actually running not DE headers but HR headers on this car here, and then that actually leads into the HR hot side piping that comes with the boosted performance turbo kit. So yeah, check that shit out. I've actually, you know, like, I got the AMG and I was literally like I let this car sit for a couple of weeks, just the hype of driving a new car, right? And I went back to this and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I let it sit for a few weeks. Like, I couldn't get over how I forgot about how nasty and fun to drive this thing was. So here's what's going on. So everything's good. I actually was able to find a buyer for the Haltech ECU, so that's gone. So because of that, I can't start the car right now until we put the new ECU in and put a base map on it. But I'm thinking about just getting it all ready and dropping it off at Tony at Dyna Motorsports and having him just do the tune on the new ECU one shot. So just to show you what's going on right now, I ripped out the whole kind of center console and all that because what I'm going to do, and there's a big wiring mess down there, because what I'm going to do is clean up all the gauge wiring, because I don't know if you guys remember, it was all going down the side of the console and I didn't really like that, right? I told you guys I was definitely going to clean it up for the final setup. So essentially what we have here is I have the boost control solenoid wired up, and now we just got to hook up the vacuum line that's going to hook up to the bottom of the charge pipe there, and then everything else is good to go. Wiring's all ready on the engine bay side. We just need to finish up the meth kit in the trunk and this wiring situation. So I got wires coming here for pretty much everything. Flex fuel sensor coming from the back, as well as the meth kit wires coming over here, and it's all going to go patch into the factory ECU harness wire. And then the gauge wiring, I have it running all back there. So it's all gonna come, I'm gonna put the stock glove box back in and just hide everything away. The meth kit chilling over here. This isn't a huge tank, which I'm not too happy about, but I guess we'll see how it goes. If I have to upsize it, I'll upsize it. There's a pump there, and it's a cooling mist kit. So it works off of this controller here, and you basically just feed a vacuum line to it, and it has like a minimum pressure, maximum pressure dial. You set where you want it to start spraying and where you want it to stop spraying. So that's just gonna handle kind of the boost range. So let's say I'm making like, 22 PSI or some shit. We'll want it to spray from like, let's say, what am I doing? 19 to like 21, right? So that's how it's gonna go. Hopefully it's not too loud. Oh boy. Flexual sensors there. I'm gonna do some conduit stuff to clean up all the wiring because right now it looks like shit. But basically here we have the flex fuel sensor running through the return system, and these 3 wires just are running to the front of the car, and so that's gonna go into the ECU harness. And then here we have this meth kit wiring. It's basically 2 wires. So I'm gonna have the meth kit installed somewhere here around the factory amp. And this is a USB-C cable. I need this. Is it? It is a USB-C. All right, perfect. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. And hopefully you guys are following along and loving the build. And we are gonna be tuning very soon. So make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned. Don't forget to check out the Instagram, Nitish21. Let's go for a drive. Let this thing warm up though. My AC in this actually just stopped blowing cold the other day, so I had to charge that. Luckily I have the manifold thing here, so I was able to just pump in some Freon, and AC is blowing nice and cold again. Let's get this thing out of here. Some people were asking me, why you got an engine light on your Benz? Well, what's going on is I'm getting a lean condition at idle, but luckily it's a known issue with these cars. It tends to be just the intake manifold has a small vacuum leak. So if I'm lucky enough, I basically have to just tighten the intake manifold bolts. If I'm unlucky, I'll have to replace the gasket, which in both cases, it's literally like nothing difficult. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos of the G and AMG. I also make videos of all kinds of other epic builds that you do not want to miss. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell with the notification so you know exactly when I drop a video. See you next time.